well, Thursday. We did. We did. I'm actually giving free live trading for my YouTuber subscribers. So it's going to be free for Tuesdays in the morning. And I'm thinking of in the afternoon as well, power hour. So let's see. Let's see how's my schedule with that. I know I'm scheduled in the Discord every Tuesdays and Wednesdays power hour. And I do my own scheduling on regards to live trading in the morning. So I would like to dedicate at least one day for my YouTube subscribers, aside for the Discord. I know I do a lot of trading, live trading with the Discord, but I also want to help out with my community on my YouTube channel. I have a small community on my YouTube channel, so I do want to, for now, exactly, for now, but yeah, I don't know how. Of course. Yeah, it was really helpful. So, yeah, that was really nice. I do receive some notification. I'm not quite sure. I tried to fix that, but yeah, me too. So I do have a notification. Yeah. Hmm. I'll find out what's going on with that. Yeah, I did get it. Uh-huh. I understand. Yeah, Tom, that's amazing. Good job, Tom. All right, today's class is going to be brief. I would like to stick to 1 hour. And it's thank you, Tom. We are going to be disciplined this time. We don't want to take too much time. If we do have an extra time because we are behave and nobody's asking too many questions that is far apart from the topic, then we could be on time and do some technicals, okay? And we are studying about a core foundations that every traders should know or at least needs, right? This is a very simple presentation, but I think it has a lot of information that each and every one of us need to know. I know we trade every day, but we have to ask ourselves, what kind of traders are we? And what are the things that we do need in order for us to consider to be a trader? Because everybody could be a trader, right? Everybody could be a trader, but if we don't have all these plans and disciplines, then I think we're just consider ourselves as a gambler. I'm not saying that we are gambling, but if you don't have a strategy, that leads you to that. Okay? So I'm going to start my presentation. It's going to be brief. Give me 1 second. And Tom, thank you for being here, by the way. Congratulations on your new endeavors. Okay. Do you guys see my screen? I would like to do a small presentations on this one.
I'm
No.
excited because I've got a great mentor, and I'm not talking about Josh, talking about Mary.
Aw, thank you, Tom. My screen is my screen paused? Can you guys see my screen?
You can see it, but
We can
nothing's
see it.
working.
Nothing. Okay,
Yeah.
let's stop that. I guess that will not allow me to do that. Give me 1 second. Exit. Exit. You will not allow me. Okay. Just give me 1 second, guys. I guess I gotta have to do this manually, so. Okay. You can see my screen? I'm assuming you can.
Yes.
All right. Core foundations on every trader's needs, right? Your journey starts here. This is actually good for beginners, to those people who's just starting, newbies. This could be just a review for those intermediate traders. So number one, charting platforms. We use most common traders use TradingView, right? And if you are using a sample TradingView, you may be lacking some of the indicators that you need. I believe Tom uses a real-time charts, indicators, and drawing tools. You guys need to be familiarized with your charting platform. Okay, if you're using Webull, I believe they have their own charting platform, but TradingView is very user friendly. I know most of you guys, since we've been trading, we use TradingView, and I think TradingView is one of the best platform out there for charting. I'm sure Tom will definitely agree with me with that. But if you do have Webull, the only thing that Webull is lacking for me is I know most of my students send me messages saying, Mary, my RSI doesn't have a signal line. And when you're scalping, that RSI with a signal line is crucial. It's very important because we do want to see a bullish crossover, okay? So if you guys are lacking that signal line on the RSI for Webull, I believe start using TradingView. I am not affiliated with them. I'm just saying that TradingView is user-friendly and they have a lot of indicators. And Josh's indicators, the one that he provided for you guys, especially to the VIP members, you need TradingView membership. Okay, so have a charting platform. If you don't have one, get one, please. Technical analysis. Technical analysis is very important. Why? Because if you're trading, if you don't know how to read candles, you don't know where's your levels, you're definitely just gambling, trading without a plan, trading without seeing where the market is going. Those candles represent traders, their reaction. So if you bought on the resistance on top, we're screwed. Because why? We don't buy on the resistance, right? This is your resistance, this is your support. If we buy on top of the resistance right here, then obviously that trend had already gone up. However, if you enter on the breakout, and then obviously that's a possible starting of the trend, continue to move up. Those are two different levels, okay? So make sure, know some technical analysis, learn from YouTube, get some classes, things like that. And you know what's the most important thing on these technicals? If you master your support and resistance, you're already 10 steps ahead of the game. Because just knowing the support and resistance and you master that, it's incredibly helpful for your trading journey. Trend lines is very easy. It's just knowing where to draw your trend line, right? So if this is an uptrend, obviously, where do you draw your trend line? You want a continuations of the structures, so you draw an uptrend right below where the candles are forming, okay? And to the downside, if this is trending downwards, you draw your trend line on the bottom of the support, which represents your support line or your trend lines that serves as a support. It needs to follow the trend line to confirm or to validate the structure, to continue the downtrend. Candlesticks pattern. We always talk about candlesticks pattern. What are those? The reversals, the tweezer bottom, the engulfing candle, head and shoulders, inverse head and shoulders, things like that. Those are important. What are the common candlestick patterns? What are these to the uptrend? Let's go ahead and review this. What is that? Tom, you could respond. You're the only one's going to be able to respond.
Inverted hammer.
If it's in the uptrend, that is not inverted hammer. Good try. But remember,
Shooting star.
it's a
Oh,
shooting
yeah.
star.
Sorry.
Yep. Yep. So these are rejections. What does that mean? It means there's the sellers here, push the price down. Okay. What are the other reversal candles? We have what? We have a hangman, right? The buyers push in, but the sellers just stuck in there and try to push the price downwards. And if this is red, it gives more strength to the downside. Okay, volume analysis. There's a lot of volume indicators that you could use. I'm a very simple gal, so I use just a regular volume. Spiking volume represents the breakout. Others use what? Volume profile, where you could see if there's any kind of point of control in there, then this is your resistance and this is your supports. If there's a weakness in here, there's a possibility of a reversal, right? So you have to know some type of volume analysis where you could take. Another one that you could use is I do like a volume footprints. Those are also another ways to identify the delta. If this is a negative delta for the volume footprints, it means it's more sellers. If it's positive or green, it means more buyers. Okay, those are the things that you need to know, at least some basic volume, but because volume is one of the important indicators. Why? Because we want to see where the smart money is. Moving averages. Moving averages, there is no such thing as a wrong moving averages or a bad moving averages. It depends on what are you used to,
Mm.
right? So commonly used is 8, 13, 21, but lately I've been hiding my 13 because I feel like I'm having a lot of fake out using my 13, so I try to eliminate it and use just 8, 21, right? I would like to remain above 8 if I'm going to scalp it or if I'm going for a swing, and if it falls below 8, I know it's gonna head to my 21, and my 21 will serve as your last line of defense. The second one is the 9 and 20. These pairs are not incorrect. Those are also great. You could use 9 and 20 same way as you do on 8 and 21. Next, then we also have your 50, your 100, and your 200, right? So 50 is bullish, below 200 will be bearish. So you guys need to learn all this, and this is easily, you could all this find this in YouTube. Okay, utilize YouTube, utilize free coaching. No, I'm sorry, coaching is not free. Utilize classes. Okay, those things are given to you guys, available to you
Yep.
guys, especially YouTube. But it's just sometimes it's a bit boring because you're learning by yourself. Trust me, I've done it. It's a little bit boring. Today, I actually was reviewing my candlestick books and I fell asleep. I'm like, oh goodness. So,
Nice.
market structures. What are these? If we have a higher high, higher low, higher high, what does that mean? It's a bullish structure. If we ended up having a higher low, right, that is a change of the structure. There's a possibility it's going to go down and change the bullish structure to bearish structure. Okay, so this is called the language of the market. Your technical analysis is where the market is going. It will tell you where the market is going. Okay, so next, number 3, brokerage account. You have to choose what kind of brokerage account you want. Make sure the fees are minimal. Are you able to do options? Because most of you guys, what? We trade options. Charting tools, Webull is really good. I'm not affiliated with Webull. You could use Michael for, and also Guppy. They have their own affiliate tools where you could affiliate links, excuse me, where you could use their link and they get credited from that. And they offer charting tools. But once again, if you're going to trade with me, you are going to lack your RSI signal. So just keep that in mind. Order types, execution speed. I know I'm using Schwab. I'm struggling with Schwab because I need at least 3 verification. Customer support. Do they offer customer support? Because some of this platform may give you a hard time just, to call them for, hey, how do I execute this trade? I don't know how to do it. Or sometimes TD Trade is now Schwab. Schwab gives a good customer service. They will call you, they will give you a lesson. I'm not quite sure with other platforms. So just know your brokerage account, okay? Know your trader type. This is actually very important for being a trader. You could be all this, but
Mm.
these things are it depends on your personality, guys. It really depends on your personality. Scalpers, we I might say 108 people here are scalpers because if you guys follow my live trading, we are scalping and we are scalpers. However, as you can see, when we're scalping, we stay there within minutes and sometimes just seconds, right? What are these? You have to be fast, decisive, and disciplined. Being a scalper, you have to think fast. You cannot hesitate. You have to think fast. You know, and if your goal has met, you're done. That's a privilege of being scalpers because you could actually meet your goal very quickly. However, there comes your risk management. Okay, day trader. Day trader is also same as quite similar to scalpers, but day trader is like you buy today, then maybe I'll sell it. It kind of like a short swing in a way, but you're gonna sell it the same day as well. You know,
Mhm.
sometimes when you guys do like let's say you buy a call for Tesla, right? And it's like 11 o'clock, and we know. Well, I've experienced, not that we know. I've experienced. I'm gonna ask Tom for this for his input. I've experienced that if I hold Tesla for this, and I see on a larger time frame, it seems like it's going to move. I tend to hold it until the end of the day because I could see that move. Tom, have you experienced that?
Yeah. Well, especially with Tesla, right? Because you're not buying, it's not like you're buying zero DTEs, right? You're always buying a week out, so you can do that. But yeah, that's a prime example of a day trader. You know what else is our RKLX, our QBTX, all those guys, right? Those are prime examples of day trading, right?
Absolutely. I
Yeah.
totally agree with Tom because RKLX will be just like whipsawing. It just whipsaw and whipsaw. And then in the middle of the day, it will just climb up. And we've seen
Yep.
that most of the time. Swing trader. Swing trader is just more patient, more analytical, more strategic as well because you're waiting for a breakout of the trend line, breakout of a pattern, breakout of your resistance, breakdown of your support. Those are swing traders. Those are more like chill. If you're a chill person and you don't like to be bothered for a person who talks too much or talks too fast, you're going to be a swing trader. You're more like a chill person. Okay? And this is, I believe everybody should know what kind of traders are you. I could be a scalper as well. I could be a swing traders, but these two are two different personality. If you're a person who has high emotion, I highly suggest you stay away from scalping. Okay, if you have no patience for scalping,
Yeah.
I suggest you stick to a swing trader. All right. Swing traders, you could hold this. Let's say you buy it today. I could buy it tomorrow. I sell it tomorrow or next week. As long as my 20% is hit, I'm okay. I'll just
You
close
know,
my position.
Mary, can I say something here?
Of course.
The order here is funny because one thing you don't want to do is you don't want to try and be all of these,
Yes.
or learn all of these at the same time. Honestly, the way I always tell people is go
This,
long,
this, this,
go
this.
swing, go
Yeah.
day. Yeah, exactly. You actually reverse that order. The problem is everybody, especially that comes into the community, a lot of them are here because what? They see Josh going, hey, my day trades, I did this, we did this, and everybody wants to jump in and be a scalper right off the bat. It's absolutely probably the worst way to start if you're new to trading. It should be in reverse,
Yeah, I
right?
know. It's
Yep.
true. It's true. Tom has a great point in there. If you're beginners, obviously I think everybody should first build your long-term portfolio, right? And then if you want to you want to venture out, then start with the swing trading and then day trading, then scalper. Tom has a really great point on that one. So, but yes, you cannot be all this if you don't know how to manage your emotion. Okay. If you really have no patience, please stay away from scalping. You could do a swing trader, you could do a long-term trader. These are the chill part, like you're calm, you're patient, you don't care about the market, you don't check your 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 brokerage or your charting platform every 5 minutes. Because if you do, then you better make sure you're going to be disciplined. Okay, so you
There's
have to
only a
know.
channel for if there's only a channel that's going to focus on the non-scalping stuff.
Yeah, yeah, but but we do have swing trader in our
Yeah.
actually when I talk like the Nvidia play that was actually more on the swing trader. I held it for 2 3 days and I got my resistance on that 190
Yeah.
192. So I got out and that's what I told you guys, I'm gonna get out. I was actually losing at first because I entered too early on the lower trend line. Remember, Nvidia has
Yeah.
a falling wedge, right? And then I entered too early. It's an aggressive entry, but still on my trend line. It actually wick, and it was really such a long wick. So, but it's okay. I waited for the day because it turns out to be a rejection, and it break out. After a break of that 186, 187, it breaks out and it reached, I believe, 190 or 192, if I'm not mistaken. I forgot what is the top resistance. But, and then I said, I'm gonna exit out here, but your 193, 196 level of resistance are still there. Is the trend broken? No, it could be just a possible pullback, or maybe just a short pullback here for one day, and then it could continue to go higher. Okay. But what I do is securing my profits because I could always enter. It's not a problem. I could always enter. Okay, so those are swing traders. So when I'm scalping, I could give you guys some trades, and Tom gives you trades as well. The best way to do it for us is we could give you guys a pattern. Let's say there's a possible breakout on the wedge. When if there's a breakout on the wedge, you guys could enter. We don't tell you guys what to do. Okay, we could give you a technical analysis, and I believe every time there's a breakout of that resistance, it's a cue for you guys to enter. Okay, when I give you guys technicals, I think give you guys a technical. It was it an SMCI on Friday, and Tom said, "Oh, that's funny because I was gonna give a SMC, right? That was SMCI, Tom, right?" And actually broke out of that resistance. It was a good entry, and if you guys follow, remember, a support is an entry. Okay, a resistance is your exit strategy or your take profit level. Okay, because you buy at the support, you sell at the resistance. And I give you guys like intraday levels where it could be reached within a day. I don't give you guys a long-term technicals where you have to hold it for weeks or months. All right, long-term traders actually good if you just want to build long wealth. I mean, if you want to build wealth, this is the best way to go. But what you could do is, how do you fund your long term is you have to find a way where you could get some money and fund your long term. Every time you make profit here, whatever profit you make, you buy or you DCA your long term portfolio. So those are strategies. Okay, then income strategy. So income strategies, obviously, we have the options income strategies. Tom teaches this cash secured puts. We teach this options class, cash secured puts, but you just make sure that you do have capital for this. Okay, you do need capital when you're doing cash secured puts, and covered calls. You have to have at least 100 shares. And the wheel strategies is a good thing to make money because you do first cash secured puts when you get assigned, then you do covered calls. It's a wheel strategist because you just buy one and then you just let your money roll. And it's Tom could explain that to you guys better. I have a very basic knowledge on cash secured puts, covered calls, and the wheel strategies. Credit spreads, this is not my expertise. This is more Tom's expertise. But these are the options income strategies that are less riskier. I consider it less riskier. Tom could tell me more. Tom, what do you think about the options income strategies? Are these more less riskier compared to buying options as a buyers? Because this options income strategies, you are more of a seller here. Okay. So, Tom, can you elaborate a little bit more on these?
So, like Mary said, these are actually for people who are um, interested in using these to leverage income, right? Create income, where you're not buying the options, you're selling them. So number one, you get paid up front on all of these. And then you also take ownership of them if you want, depending on what your goal is at, and you can just keep flipping them with covered calls. That's the cash puts covered calls wheel strategy. And in credit spreads, you just go ahead and you define your entries, exits, right, using all the fundamentals that we teach all the time. Get paid up front, determine your risk, determine, it's great because you already know what your maximum risk is going to be, right? And these take time, and you have time is on your side on these because you're selling things. So theta is actually working for you, versus when you buy options, theta works against you, right? And then as time goes by, and it's the if you're not in the money quickly, right, it gets hard to recover. These give you time to recover. They give you time to analyze and review and make adjustments. So they're great to generate income, especially for people who can't sit and watch. Don't have the first hour of data to go do scalping and things like that. They're great ways to turn your shares into income, and great for small accounts too.
Yeah. Um, yeah, small accounts, Tom, but they need capital for this, so they really need to capital.
But you don't. So the thing is, you don't. Like when you buy an option for Tesla, right? What is it? 1,500 bucks sometimes, right?
Yeah.
If you do a cash secured put, not a cash secured put, if you did a credit spread, you really only need 500 bucks.
Yeah, for that one,
So
yes,
there's a
yes.
big difference.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. So the credit spread is less capital compared to all these three.
Yep.
Okay. So you just have to depends how much is your capital for your trade. All right, another income strategy is stock-based incomes. We have the dividend stocks. We have Ertuan and Tom covering that dividend stocks in the Discord channel. So you guys are more than welcome to ask them directly. They could help you guys with the dividend stocks. And I believe Ertuan has the list of their dividend stocks. The thing with the dividend stocks is you have to buy stocks and you just have to sit there and wait for your monthly dividend. And you don't trade those dividend stocks. It's like holding it for years and serve it as, let's say, a passive income. Yes, sometimes it fluctuates, but if you trade your dividend stocks, you will lose money. Because the goal there is what? Passive income. And as you can see, Ertuan has been making so much money with his dividend stocks. Yes, most of his dividend stocks most likely is down. MSTY, Coney, those are down, but
Yeah.
Ertuan owns it for years. So whatever dividend stocks that he has, it's already paid off. It's paid off for the capital that he had. So these are just now extra money for him. So you don't worry about how much is your dividend stocks losing. This is more like an income, passive income, monthly basis.
Yep. And again, like I know Antoine loves those type of stocks, and I have some of those too. And it's tough when you see them down, but when you're getting now, most of them pay weekly, so that's really nice.
Yeah.
And then I don't reinvest in those when they're down, right? What do I do? I take that money and I go find, I guess what you call either um, multi-company ETFs, right, or diversified ETFs that pay great dividends, and I keep pumping money into those, and there's quite a few of those out there. Or you buy quality stocks that pay decent dividends. If you're getting 3% every month, every quarter, those are great ways to build up slowly over time, right, and level out. You don't want to be heavily invested in just one or two, and then like MSTY, yeah, I mean that thing's down like I think 70% from its high, right?
Yeah.
But it's still paying, depending how much you got. I mean, I still pick up a couple $100 every week from that, so it doesn't hurt as bad. So there are multiple ways, and in fact, I'll be sharing more of that on the dividend channel, right? Different dividend plays. I'll be giving those out probably on a weekly basis, one right to look at for you guys. So if you're interested in dividends, I love dividends. That's how I started in the stock market 6, 7 years ago. Just a simple dividend player because it's great to see that income coming in.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you also have those undervalued stocks. One of them is what? APLD. I mean, I consider undervalued. What do you think, Tom?
Say that again.
APLD, I consider that as
Yeah,
undervalued
yeah,
stocks. You hold it long term, and
yep.
remember, APLD, we just start buying it when it was 15, long-term hold. You already doubled your investment on that. That was just last year, guys. We keep talking about it. Intel. I was talking to you guys about Intel a long time ago. That was like Intel was $19 and Yes, I could say Ayrton was. I'm not quite. I don't remember if he's agreeing with me on this part. I don't know, Ayrton. I mean, Tom, if you agree with me with Intel back then, I said right now this is just beat up right now. Yes, the management's kind of not doing very well financially too. Fundamentals is not doing well, but this is what is this? It's been in the market for years, so it's like the grandfather of other hardware, right, Ayrton? I mean, Tom,
Yeah,
Intel.
not hard. Chips.
Chips, yeah. So they're the grandfather before
Yep.
Nvidia, and
Oh,
Intel's
they were.
been there.
I mean, they were the king back in the day,
Yes,
right?
they
AMD
were.
came along, started chipping away at them. TSM, the Nvidia,
Hmm.
right? But yeah, they have a great. So Mary makes a great point. One of our problems, I think, as retail traders, we tend to chase the top
Yeah,
instead of trying to find out where the bottom is and then say, "Ooh, it's coming off of that," and then investing long term. Retail traders see the news and they start buying in, and that's where we all get caught.
yeah. Like UNH too. Another example is UNH when it was so down, it's like 236 or 245. Everybody was crying. Mary, you said buy this time. I'm like, it's a long-term hold. So I keep giving you guys fundamentals about this. It's a long-term hold, but it's up. When Nvidia was what, 78 or $80. I said, you guys are talking about Nvidia here. And look at how much is Nvidia now. This is just a couple months ago, guys, when we were
You don't
talking
even have
about
to open
Nvidia.
NVIDIA. Look at Micron. Micron a year ago was an $85 stock.
Yeah. See?
And I keep saying it. I kill myself because I had it. And I was selling cover calls again and then get pulled away and now I'm killing myself for it. You
Yeah.
know?
So we don't cry over those dips that's been falling and falling and falling. Those are the opportunity that we buy. We buy those opportunity and we jump into those type of opportunities. Sorry, we don't buy the opportunity. We jump into the opportunity. Okay.
Miss
So
Mary,
yes.
may I ask a quick question?
Yeah.
It's kind of maybe for a little bit for Tom, but I've recently got into a lot of these high yield ETFs
Mm.
and the weekly ones, and I've looked at the payout date. So, kind of a strategy I've been working here recently is buying the stock on the day of the payout, like 100 or 200 shares, and then like maybe sell it the next day. Um,
Uh
I just wanted to get your input on that.
Actually, I tried to do that before. You know that most of the time the next day you actually lose money because it's most of them are lost. I don't know how did
Yeah.
you
So,
experience, because
so
they're gonna take out that dividend
yeah.
stocks from the price itself. So the next day after they pay you out, usually it pulls back. So if you're gonna sell this the next day and you're doing this for dividends, for me that's not a strategy for me to hold on to that dividend stocks.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
So my experience with that is a few years ago. So I do a lot of research on tip ranks. Tip ranks has an uh, unbelievable dividend tools, and they have a dividend calendar. So I started scouring the dividend calendar, and I would look for any stock that was paying like 10% or above, right? And I would try and do that, like by right before the ex dividend date, at least a day before. That way, you lock in and then grab that big dividend, right? Every single time. I can't tell you how many times I get the big dividend, and then the day after the dividend comes out, that stock drops,
Yeah.
and I'm actually, and I now I have to hold it. Right now, I'm,
Yeah.
I'm holding it. So now basically what I did was like almost like a cash secured put. Now I got to sell. Now I got to sell cover calls, right, to get it
Exactly.
back, and then then maybe you get, maybe it's a monthly. Most of them are quarterly, so you can get that big dividend. You got to wait 3 more months to get another dividend. It's very hard to do that. You've got to be very careful of the stock that you're doing it on, because a lot of these, sometimes they pay these big dividends because they're required to, sometimes depending on the stock, right? Especially like REITs. I was doing a lot of REITs, real estate investment trust. They have to pay out a certain amount, but then you see a dip right afterwards.
Yeah.
These yield max ones, same thing. They
Yeah.
pay out these big dividends, and then they dip, and then
Yep.
they dip, and then they dip, and it takes a long time for them to come back. So you got to be very careful if you're going to try it's basically called a dividend calendar strategy. You're trying to do it. Some people can do it, but you've got to be willing to hold it because it is tough to catch it, get out with the money without taking a little hit and then holding a little more. So
I agree
Okay,
with
yeah,
Tom.
thanks.
Because
Thanks for the
that's what
feedback.
happened, Brian. I did
Hmm.
it before, so I just want to experiment it. And when I want to get the dividend, but you always lose money. I mean, at least me, not always. Most of the time, you will lose money if you like try to sell it the next day because it's not gonna go up. You gotta have to hold it, and
Huh?
what's gonna happen is you're gonna have to hold on to your brokerage gonna have to hold on to your capital because you're losing. So, what is the purpose of that dividend stocks if you're going to trade it, right? So,
Miss Mary
Gotcha.
and Tom, just to piggyback on that same question, I was thinking about doing the same thing. And I think they got like a declaration date,
Yes, it's
ex-dividend
called
date
the
and a
X
record,
dividend date. Yep.
yeah, and a record date and a pay date. So I was like, yo, can I just like I think I can sell it on the payout date or just before the payout date. It wouldn't work still, right? Like
no,
get it like a couple days before and then just before the payout
Well,
date.
so
Because I
so
think the
his
record date they document that you do have it and then sell
they
it at
do.
4.
They
Yeah.
do, but a lot of times, and you'll see this. You'll see this. What happens is a lot of people pile in on the before the ex dividend date, especially if it's a high yield one, right? Anything 5% above is kind of considered high yield. So if it's above that, you'll get a bunch of people pile in,
hmm
and then the ex dividend date will come. And the ex-dividend date, it depends, like on these yield max ones, these leveraged ETF ones and things, stuff like that. They'll do it, and then the next day is the payout. So you really can't do anything.
Oh, okay. All right.
On the other ones, you'll get the ex-dividend date, and then the institutions will dump the next day. If there's a gap between the ex-dividend date and the payout date, that's what kills you, is the
Mm,
institutions. It will dump, and they'll dump millions, right?
yeah,
And that's what really affects the share of the stock. And then
all right.
retailers end up holding the bag. So if you're gonna do it, make sure it's a stock you're willing to own. Don't do it just for the payout.
yep.
You got to be willing to own the stock.
Yeah. It's not a
Okay.
good
All right. Thank you
strategy if
guys.
you're going to just for the dividend and you want to sell it the next day or couple of days. And it's a risky, let's say the payout's today and you sell it today, you may not get the dividend. So
Okay.
yeah,
All right.
so it all depends on every company's rules. So it's not a good way to use that dividend stocks as a strategy, as that you're saying. So just like I said, and Ertuan and Tom is telling you guys that if it's just for the dividend stocks, you gotta have to separate that to your account. You don't want to play around with your dividend stocks if that's going to be your passive income. Okay, because you don't really want to see it because it's going to lose money. That dividend stocks is not something that you're gonna have to trade every week or every day. Because if your goal is for dividend stocks, stick to that goal. If you want to trade, if you want to do swings and scalping, I highly suggest to don't use those dividend stocks.
Okay. Tom, one more question for the yield max one. So like you're down on a percentage and you say you don't reinvest, you just let it continue to go down on the percentage. So
Yeah.
like I'm down like 35%
Oh,
on
I'm MSTY. I'm down big time, right?
Yeah,
But
I'm
I'm holding
sure.
it
yeah,
because
yeah.
it's
Yeah,
that one is built off of like yeah, master, but it's really built off of Bitcoin. So
yeah, that's the same one I'm in too, yeah.
yeah, I don't
So you
reinvest.
just
I
you just
stopped
gonna leave it.
reinvesting in that one.
Sorry, you're just gonna leave it and just don't even reinvest, just leave it at that and just collect.
You
Yeah.
collect,
Uh,
yeah.
I'm driving that money somewhere else right now. You don't. So the thing with the reinvesting, right, is, and this is not just what I don't think, Mary, correct me, right? It's not just what dividend stocks is. You don't want to reinvest on a falling knife, right? Just to get your dollar cost down. And I stopped reinvesting in that when Bitcoin just started dropping, right? To be honest with you, transparency, I should have been out of that thing when it broke the 50
That's
EMA
right.
at the minimum. I should have been out. But I was like, no, Bitcoin's gonna come back, right? I was on hopium.
Yeah, yeah. Actually,
It,
on that falling knife, Tom, it's true we don't want to buy in the falling knife, but at the same
uh,
time, if it's a lucrative company, I was actually buying Nvidia in a falling knife.
again,
I was
yep.
buying UNH in a falling knife. So you just have to
Different story,
know,
right?
yeah,
Different
it's a
story though.
lucrative
That's a different
company.
story.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a UNH is really a blue chip company, right?
Yes.
So that's the second half of that, right? You don't want to bond the following if you want to find support at some point. But if it's a great stock, right?
Right.
If it's a company that's a really good, stock, that's different. The thing with the MSTY is that a lot of the yield max, right, is they're selling options based off the stock, and
Mhm.
that's why they drop so much when the stock drops, right? That's
Yep.
that's the that's the concern with those. And like some of them, I'm, like, what do I also have? Like, TSLY. I'm fine with that one. I'm only down a couple points in that one, so I'm cool with it. The MSTY was a brutal one.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
Yeah, it is. It is a brutal one. I think also
So
Coney is a brutal one.
I'm
can I
not in that one.
piggyback up? Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Tom.
No, no, go ahead.
I was going to ask you, can I piggyback off that? So let's take this from a reverse way. So wouldn't it be the best time to enter a dividend play on that day? So then it pulled back. So on a good stack, like Miss Mary's saying, like Nvidia or something. Not, I know Nvidia doesn't give dividends, but any,
Dude, it's
high
like
value stock.
point zero
Like
one.
Penny.
Yeah.
What about
So that's a
PLTY?
great question, right? Again, you want to watch your charts, right? You've got to see your charts. Right, that you've got to like you could say right now, you could go say you looked at MSTY right now, right? It's $35. Oh, it's $35 because they had a few what, a 20-to-1 reverse split or something like that. Crazy, right? So you'd say, wow, it's at a pretty good value right now. But you've got to look at your charts. Is it a good value for you to get into? Is it worth, investing your money to catch the dividends, and the stock starts dropping again? You've got to go do your analysis on it before you decide on anything. Because dividends, really, honestly, dividends are designed to hold long term. They're not.
Mm-hmm.
They're not flip. Then you really shouldn't look at dividends as I want to flip them kind of stock. It is difficult to do that. You may get a couple that catch it. My person, not person, my personal experience on it is that, again, the dividend calendar strategy is very difficult to manage. And if you do it, you want to only do it with quality stocks you're willing to own. Don't do it just for the high dividend payout.
Mm-hmm.
There's a reason it's a high dividend payout. It's not because they love giving people money, usually. It's because it's
Uh,
leveraged.
Yeah.
all right, Tom. So you're gonna hold your MSTY, and you're just
I,
gonna
I
hold it.
I'm holding right now. Yeah, I mean, I'm down,
What's
but
the plan? What's your plan with that? Like, what's your plan?
yeah, it's right now. My plan with that is to hold it and watch Bitcoin, basically, at this point.
Yep.
Here's the thing with mine. I got in early, before it ran really up. It's paid for itself, right? I'm actually collecting money, even though I'm down. When I look at the amount I collected over time, I pretty much
Break
break
even.
even at this
Mm-hmm.
point. Yeah, so it's not a killer for me, and I do sell covered calls on it too.
Let's
And
take a
how
look.
much time
Okay.
was
We could
that?
take a look at MSCY
Okay.
because if it's so beat down right now, that's actually a good way to start accumulating
No,
for
no, it ain't
dividends.
really down right now, Miss Mary. They did a reverse split, like you said.
Yeah.
Um, and then it brought the price back up because the law or the rule,
Yeah.
so they don't get delisted or something like that,
Yeah.
right?
And if they do a
And I
reverse
think
splits,
that was the time to actually dollar cost. I think it was down like $8 or
nope,
$7.
nope, nope.
I wasn't even doing it.
When you do a reverse splits, it's not the time to dollar cost average that.
No.
Because when you do a reverse splits, you actually think that thing's gonna go up. Most of the time when they do a reverse splits, this is a continuation of the downtrend. When you do a reverse splits, when the company does a reverse splits, the probability of this going up is less likely going to happen soon, but it's a continuation of a downtrend. That's a
I
reverse
think if you
Okay.
splits.
wanted to look at
It's
one, Miss Mary, I think PLTY, which is a
TY, yeah, I was
Palantir.
looking at that
yep.
one too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
that
down
one has
too.
been a great dividend payer for me. And since PLTR has been
Yep.
down a little bit, that it might be a good time to buy into that one,
Yeah,
possibly.
that one we could take a look at it. All right.
Yeah, that
So
one's a good one.
the next one, income generations, is obviously beyond scalping. We also have the swing trading. We talk about the swing trading earlier on the presentations. Once again, it's a trend continuation setups. If there's any breakout, mean reversion trades. Mean reversion trades means, let's give an example. If you're using a Bollinger Bands, right? This is a Bollinger Bands, and this is the middle line. And the candle had reached its peak all the way to the top of the Bollinger Bands. And let's say your RSI, right? And your RSI is right here. And this is overbought and this is oversold. And it's right here. And it's kind of like confluence with the RSI being on top. Obviously, you don't want to buy on the top of the Bollinger Bands. You would like to see the mean reversion trades, meaning at least when it touches and go back to the average price instead of the premium price, that's when you start buying. And your RSI should be at least above 50. So there's a lot of ways, a strategy, how to do swing traders or the mean reversion trades. Another example is your, let's say your 821 EMA, right? If your candles continue to be on the 8 EMA and it finally drops below 8 EMA, your mean reversion is when you wait for that 21 EMA to pull back and test it. As long as it's respecting your 21 EMA, that is your cue to enter a trade so that it could go back when all trades carries risk. So if it's respecting your 21 EMA, you enter this position. And again, this is more likely like the average price instead of buying on the top of your or below your 8 EMA, because once you drop below 8 EMA, it's going to retest your 21 EMA. So it's kind of like a pullback. So the mean reversion is like a pullback. It's going back to its average price. So that's one way to do a swing trading. Long-term investing, there's another one that we could absolutely add to our portfolio. We have VTI, we have VOO, things like that. This is good for compound interest. Okay, you don't have to worry about. But the only thing is this moves slowly, but after 10 years, you're going to see your compound interest like move drastically. Dollar cost average, you have to pick, let's say your UNH or your target or anything that you dollar cost average. When do we buy them? When it's red. We don't buy on the green, we buy on the red days. Okay, when you are dollar cost averaging your stocks, you want to buy during the red day, not on the green day. I know each and every one of you guys know that. I just want to remind you that dollar cost average happens on the red day, not on the green day. Sector rotations. Do you guys believe in the AI bubble? You think we have an AI bubble?
Mm.
This is a different from what do you call that? What is that?
Com,
The com. Yeah.
the .com one.
.com. Yes, it's different from the .com compared to the AI bubble, because if you look at Nvidia has $500 billion contract for next year. I mean, for this 2026. So other analysis said this is just an air pockets. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not an analysis, but I'm just listening to them. They said this is the AI will
They
continue
did.
to boom.
Yep.
It will
You
continue
know, I
to boom.
followed up on your technicals at SMCI the other day, right? And SMCI has $10 billion in back orders right now.
Yeah. So
I mean, they're building.
yeah,
AI is not a bubble. It may be early, but there's great opportunity
it's
on it.
still babies. This AI is
Yep.
still babies,
Yep.
guys. So I don't consider it a bubble. It's more like just the air pockets, and that's not my word. That's from the analysis words, the air pockets they're using. So I'm just borrowing it from them. So you have to know the difference of that bubble to like reality. If these companies are back up with those orders, it's happening. I mean, look at Tesla. Look at your cell phone. Everything is integrated with AI. You use your cell phones, your laptop. When you're writing grammar, your AI is right there. Everything is run by AI. Once the Optimus humanoid happens, I'm gonna buy one because I want that thing to cook for me so I could
Oh
trade more.
gosh.
I mean, AI is not going anywhere. So I
But your
mean,
husband's like, I don't need to buy that. I already have one of those at home.
yeah, okay. I told him I could lend it to him. So number 6, trading psychology. We had this class on Wednesday. 80% trading is all about 80% psychology, 20% technicals. Okay. Mark Douglas and Randy Howell. Why do I continue to preach about them? They're the guru of psychology of trading. Okay. Tom is starting his Mark Douglas, Randy Howell's, and these are the most famous trading of psychology. These are the books that you guys should start thinking. We have to control our emotions. We have to have patience. You have to have confidence. Don't hesitate. If you believe you have at least 2 confluence, Actually, I don't believe on two. It has to be three confluence to have a plus setup. Okay, what does that mean? Let's say you're entering scalp. Okay, let's say we're scalping, and this is our resistance, and then here comes your VWAP, right? And then we have a trend line, and then we have an RSI here. We have a bullish crossover. This is your signal, and this is your RSI. Okay, so three confluence means one, your candles above VWAP. Two, your candles is above resistance. Three, your trend line is being respected. That's three already. That's amazing. Now, to top it up, if you have a bullish crossover in your RSI, that's four. This is called a A+ setup. This is a quality trade setup where you could enter. If you have all that four or three A+ setup, trade it. Trade that baby. Okay, don't hesitate. You have more probability than you have a higher probability of winning than losing. I mean, yes, of course, I know I keep preaching that every trade carries risk, but you have to have confidence on your trade. And these are your confidence. Number one, your candles above VWAP. Number two, candles above resistance. Number three, above the trend line. Number four, your RSI. If those are aligned, don't hesitate to enter that trade. Okay? And you always have to follow your rules. You gotta have to have rules when you trade. You gotta have to have rules. I have rules. Tom has rules. If I lose twice on my trade, I'm out. I'm out. I'm not gonna trade anymore. Those are rules. So you have to stick with it. You have to detach from individual trades. That's right. If you lose once or you lose twice, that doesn't mean you're a loser. It's part of the game. You're just paying your business expenses. Okay? Don't worry if you lose once, twice. It's part of the game. You know, if you ever find somebody who never lost on a trade, let me know.
Hey, Miss Mary, one quick thing. Thanks for sharing that. I was watching that video and I was, trying to play it from a mental perspective. Instead of saying I lost on that trade, the probability didn't work out. I've been training, trying to tell myself this is just a probability game instead of saying I lost. No, that like you said, those three factors that came into play on that time, that probability didn't work out that time,
That's
and I'm
right.
okay with being wrong. So sometimes I think mentally, because like you said, it's all psychological,
It is.
is training my brain to say this is a probability game
It is.
and I don't have to be right all the time. And I'm looking to test that this week and see if that'll be a change in me mentally to stop holding on to losers long, just saying it's probability. This probably doesn't work out. Get out.
That's
So
right.
I want to thank you. So I'm going to try that this week and thank you.
Yeah, losing trade is just your probability. Okay. Let's say we do a tweezer top, right? This is a tweezer top. Your probability of success here is from 80 to 86%. This is not my probability. This is what AI says. Okay. And I picked the highest reversal. But this is my favorite reversal. And if we see a red here, that's your 86% probability of success. But if you see a green here, you better make sure you have a stop loss right here. Okay. Why? Because that's your 14 to 20% probability of losing. It means what? The trade did not work out. It's not about us being right or wrong. The market is always right. We're just trading it based upon probability. We don't predict, we use probability. Okay, if we want this to come down, for crying out loud, it's a tweezer top. It's a reversal with a higher probability of success with an 86%. I'm going to tell you guys this again. Birth controls is only 99.99. Somebody will get pregnant on that 0.01.
Mhm.
And those are the unlucky ones. I mean, it is because our goal is not to have those, is not to get pregnant, right? So imagine that if this 0.01 exists, imagine this 14, 20%. Okay, so you have to make sure, detach yourself from that emotion. It's okay to lose because the trade did not go to our favor. It's okay. It's part of it.
And Miss Mary, good
Yeah.
evening. One quick question. When you mentioned tweezer tops, um, do candles or those type of patterns have to be in a specific color pattern
Yes.
in order? Okay, for
Yes.
them to be successful. Okay,
This is normally, well, if you have a tweezer top that's both yellow, red, that's stronger. But if you have a green and red, that's good. But if you have both green, yes, they're considered to be tweezer top, but they're both green. There's strength in there. So you really have to be careful because you prefer to have two red or one green, one red. If you have two green, it's still a tweezer top, don't get me wrong. It's still a tweezer top. But remember, when we're entering a reversal to the downside, what color we want to see? Red. Okay,
right.
so you have to keep that in mind as well. But the color should not matter, but remember of the strength. Just like having an inverse head and shoulder, right? There's also a strong inverse head and shoulder, and there's like kind of weak, not weak, it's still a pattern. But if you see an inverse head and shoulder, that this one is lower, your first shoulder is lower, and this is your head, and your second shoulder is slightly higher. This is more like higher probability. Like this is a stronger inverse head and shoulder than this one. Oh, let's pretend that this one is lower, okay? Why? Because you just created what?
Actually, I can't see your design, your what you're drawing. If you were drawing anything.
You cannot see what I'm drawing? Nobody could see what I'm drawing?
High or low. Yeah, I can see it.
Okay.
Okay, maybe I need to switch out.
So let's do
Okay,
this again. If you have an inverse head and shoulder, they're both
right.
inverse head and shoulder, and you have a second inverse head and shoulder, and this one is create a higher low. Why do you think this is stronger than this one? Because you just, they're both create a higher low. But for a technical perspective, I mean, I've learned this from the book. Okay. So from the technical perspective, this is more stronger inverse head and shoulder. Inverse head and shoulder than this one. Okay, it's the same thing with the head and shoulder. If this one is lower than this one, this is a stronger in a head and shoulder. Okay, it's just a strength. It just gives you more like a higher probability. But
Okay,
the goal is what? The goal is to break out on that neckline, right? The goal, it doesn't
right.
matter if you give you that strength, the goal is to break out that neckline. That's the goal. Because if we don't break that neckline, the pattern is invalidated. So we want to see a breakout of that neckline to confirm the pattern. Remember, we treat all this pattern as neutral. All of them, doesn't matter what kind of pattern it is, bearish or bullish. We need to wait for a breakout. If there's no breakout, there's no pattern. Okay? And when the market opens, we would like to what? Treat every market when the market opens as neutral. We cannot predict. We cannot predict. Okay, because that thing could just gives you during pre-morning market, it looks so bullish, and guess what happened? When the market opens, bam. We've seen that. AMD happened on Friday. It's the same thing.
Right.
Okay, you cannot say, oh, it's so bullish on pre-morning market. Wait for the market to open. It will tell you a story. All right. Next one,
Thank you.
community and mentorship. Trading alone is hard. Trading with other people is hard. But if you're beginners, find a community that will help you because it will help you stay accountable. You will learn faster if you guys, when you find a community that teaches you, you learn faster, right? Avoid common mistakes because what? In a community, they will show you their mistakes. And those are the things that you want to learn. I want to learn now. I'm trying to avoid mistakes. I want to learn that mistakes. Like if you guys looking for reviews on Google, do you guys ever look at the negative reviews instead of the positive? I look at first, if I see like 4.9, it's like 5,000. I'm like, okay, that's sometimes too much. Okay. That very common in Miami. I went to Miami and it's always like 1,000 reviews. I'm like, what? Then I look at the negative reviews. It's not like I'm not being negative. I just want to see what is their complaint. Is it a sensible complaint or just complaint because the waiter is not nice, or there's a bug that landed underwater. Those are not valid for me. Okay. So I want to see what are they complaining about. So the same thing in the community. So if you see like their mistakes, oh, I want to avoid that. Because you want to avoid the common mistakes that other traders do. One of them is what? Emotion. When can I enter a trade? They're just waiting for that. No, I don't want to do that. I don't want to wait for somebody to tell me what to do. So those things like that, common mistakes, you learn from those common mistakes. You share ideas. Like we share a lot of ideas in the Discord, guys, like how to trade using 8 and 21 EMA, how to trade when you're swinging, how to trade inverse head and shoulder, how do you trade tweezer top, what do you do when you see a tweezer top, things like that. You learn from each other, right? You stay motivated. Why? Because if you don't, then you're not going to be a trader. And you have to keep in your mind that you are a trader, guys. You have to keep in your mind doesn't know reality. As long as you just keep in your mind, I'm a trader, you will be a trader. Okay. There's a lot of YouTube educators. There's also a lot of Discord groups. So follow one. And then when you get better at it, start cutting off some of the group that gives too much noise, and then you become a lone wolf. There's nothing wrong with a lone wolf. Or Tom wants to be what do you call that, Tom? He wants to be an African wolf. Was it an African wolf, Tom?
What?
What is that? You said something. Was it in Africa? You said something about a
Oh,
wolf.
Ethiopian wolf.
Huh?
Ethiopian wolf. You ever see those things? Those things are amazing.
No.
Turtle wobble.
So he wants to be that wolf. I'm like, you want to be a lone wolf? I'm like, well, there's nothing wrong with it, because they said if you want to get to your destination
Oh, are
faster,
you
you gotta
talking
go
about?
alone.
You're talking about being by yourself?
Yes, yes.
Oh, that was something. I think I got it from the Mark Roberts about the difference between a mountain lion and
Mountain
a African
lions. There you go.
lion.
That's
A
correct.
mountain lion and an African lion, right?
That's right. That's
And,
right.
and it wasn't about being solo. It was about because a mountain lion hunts solo. They
Yes.
have to be very patient. They have to be very strategic. Where a lion will just like, hey, there's like 10 of us. Let's go
It's a
hunt this
pack.
buffalo down. We'll go
That's
grab
correct.
it, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's correct. Yes. Yes. A mountain lion. There you go. There you
Yep.
go. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. It's great because why? You just want to do it by yourself. Okay.
No, it's more about patience than anything else.
It is. It is.
Yep. Yep.
Next, the last one, I think, a
Which
personal
I struggle
trading
with all
plan.
the time, right?
Yeah. A personal trading plan. This is your business plan as a trader. So your trader type, what kind of trader are you? Are you a swing trader? Are you a scalper? Are you long term? Your strategy. What are your strategy? You have to know your strategy. If I have 4 confluence or 3 confluence, that's my strategy. What is your entry and exit rules? Remember, when you enter, why? The same thing with your strategy. You have to make sure you have 3 confluence in order for you to enter a trade. What is your exit strategy? Your exit strategy includes your take profit level, okay, and your risk management. I give 3 levels: 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. These are the possible exit, excuse me. Exit. So you have to stick to that plan. If your plan is to trade to exit out at level number 1, it's fine. Don't hesitate it. Or if you see that there is a continuation candle and it's so strong, exit out number 2. But if you are trading on the volatility, when the market opens, what did I always teach you guys? 1 to 2 take profit level. Don't be greedy because this is not guaranteed. Level 1 and number 2, most of the time it's going to hit. Okay, and you have to get out quickly. That is my strategy for trading volatility. When we enter the market, and I said we need to get out soon because why? It's only like 9:32. We better make sure we take profit. We would like to
Mm.
secure that profit. Those are my rules. Those are my strategy, and I try not to break them because if I break them, most of the time I lose money or what happened to my profit goes down.
Yeah.
Okay. Risk management.
What,
Everybody needs to have
what,
risk management. Go ahead, Tom.
what's the number one rule?
What is your number 1 rule?
The number one rule is protect capital, right? How do you protect capital? You set up rules and you stick with them. If you think about how many times you've lost money, it's usually because you violated one of your trading rules. That's, I know for me, that's almost every time. If I lose money in trades because I violated a rule, I didn't get out, I didn't take profit, I took a bad entry. It's usually because of a trading rule.
Your number one rules is following all your rules.
Yep.
Number two rules, follow number one.
See number one.
Yep. Okay. Your number one rules, follow your rules. What if that doesn't work out? Go back number two and follow number one.
And if
Okay.
number one's not working, evaluate your rules.
That's right. If and your strategy, let's say your trade plans, right? You have to try this setup, not just one, not just two. Minimum at least for me is 30 days. Okay? 30 days. 30 days. Henry Ford did not create that V8 in one day. I mean, not him, his engineers did, right? Take him how many multiple times? Albert Einstein did not create that bulb in one day. The Great Wall of China wasn't created in one day. So why can't you try that for 30 days and see if it works out? Okay? Be patient, guys. Be patient. Daily routines. You guys know what's my daily routine? When I wake up in the morning, I run in the morning. I take my son to school. Well, first I take my son to school. I'm trying to get him lunch ready by himself. And then if he's running late, I help him. But I take him to school and then I run every day. I have 2 days off, which is Monday, because I run like today. We're supposed to run 20 miles. I ended up running only 9.5 because it was so cold and raining so much, and I couldn't handle. All our clothes are so wet. But my routine is take my son to school, and run, and then I trade. Okay, so you guys gotta have to have a morning routine. You have to have at least take care of yourself first, your mind and your body. That's the most important thing. And you have to make sure you have good sleep, okay? Yes, Alex, wherever you are, listen to me. You have to have good sleep. Okay. Um journaling process. What are these? Every time you trade, every day, you need to write it down. You need to write it down. When you have plans in life, write it down. My goal is to be rich. That's not a goal. You have to be specific on your goal. My goal is to make, let's say, here, where's my pen? Let's for example, my 1 week goal is I make at least $1,000, right? Others will say, I want 5,000. It all depends on your capital, okay? These are all subjective. Number two, this is your weekly goal. You gotta have to have a daily goal, okay? This is not just for trading itself. Not only for your for trading, also for your daily lives, guys. Write it down your goal. You know, when you have to do something, your to-do list, I write it down on the sticky notes. I have to-do list on my sticky notes. And most of the time, I never get to finish that 1 through 10. Why? Because I always get distracted. You have to write down because I get to check off all the things that I do. And most of the time, I finish at 8 out of 10. That's pretty good. I mean, for me, I think it's pretty good. But you gotta write down your daily goal. I mean, your goals and your journal everything in life. You gotta have to manifest it. And being rich is not a goal. You have to be specific. I want to acquire $1 million. Okay, what does that mean? You gotta have to have a plan, right? And you gotta have to have an exact date. I mean, at least a time period, not an exact date, a time period. I wanna acquire $1 million in, let's say, 5 years or 2 years or 3 years, whatever it is. But you have to have the specific goal and the date, because you're putting yourself on expiration. If you don't put yourself on expiration, it's just going to be a regular plan. Okay? So you have to be specific on everything, because without a plan, once again, you're just gambling. You are just gambling in life in general. Okay, that is it. I know I do a lot of talking, and now we could go to technicals. Questions? Let's take a look, Tom, you could answer some questions if you can, maybe. And I'll take a
Okay,
look at
let
the
me look at 'em.
YouTube if they have
Yeah, let me look
questions.
at them. Can your videos be replayed? Yes, our Sunday videos are posted on the YouTube channel. Uh, I a thread dedicated to swing trading. So one of the things that I know on my new thread that I've been doing is longer term plays. Swing trading is included in that. So I know I'll be doing that. I think some other people do. I'm not sure. Does Parker do swing trading too?
I'm not quite sure.
It's hard, right? I would say stick with me and Mary on that right now because I think we do a lot of swing trading on our stuff. Like with Guppy, right? Turtle, he's gonna be a sniper. He's fast.
Yes. Yeah, Guppy is expertise on scalping. For swinging, guys, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start doing a video for you guys. I normally did. I did the APLD. I did that. That was actually an earnings play. But I did NVIDIA on the YouTube because I see patterns. So what I'm gonna do moving forward is I'll give you guys the technicals. I give you guys patterns, and then I'll put in the video, and you guys trade it from there. If you see a breakout, do it. So
So one of the things that I'm gonna be focused on is delivering what I believe quality trade per week, and if they're really gonna focus on swinging against swinging,
yeah.
it can be a couple of days to a couple of weeks to maybe even a month. So that's I'm gonna be doing some research and giving one of those a week. Usually on Sunday night, probably I'll those and I'll track those and see how they go. Right? Do time. You mentioned two or three week swing. So that was my goal, and then I had a talk with Josh. He called me yesterday morning and said, "Hey, it's gonna be really hard for you to do right now." So he actually told me to stick to one for now. So the day trading too, right? You guys know I do a lot of the your 2x leverage on the stuff, so I do those too. But the swing trading, we're gonna really focus on quality trades versus quantity trades. So I'll try and get up to 2 a week, but those are very fast moving sometimes. You can get out in a couple of days, that's great, but really it's to get the most so it's on just it sounds like provide targets on it.
No.
Yeah, so one of the things that I will do is we'll have targets on it, right? Mary is quick doing take profit too, those kind of things. And we'll look at those, right? We'll say, these are targets on these swing trades. And some too is a lot. I like to look at swing trades that if you hold them, even if they're dividend, sometimes if they're dividend, like even better, right? Get paid while you hold them is going to be even better. And again, I'm looking at stocks that you wouldn't mind holding if you had to hold for a longer time, right? Not much you're gonna sit there and grind them, share this play because this stock is bleeding off and there's not like the Killian science one, right? That's a quality stock. I consider waiting for what do you call it? Meme stocks, right? Mary, we don't want to swing trade meme stocks, right? We want to be in those quick.
Yeah, we don't want to trade those things, okay? Yes, APLD is a long term. There was actually an earnings play. I did that one too. Um, Netflix, guys, again, it's a falling knife. But if you believe in Netflix, Netflix is, let's go ahead and talk about our long term. We're going to share this again. Earnings is coming. Yeah. Yep. Go ahead and take a look at it. When I Good job. You guys, when I give you guys technicals, you know, I don't want to bombard you guys with too many trades. Everybody gives you guys trades, and what I teach you every day is learn how to fish. Okay, learn how to fish is stop depending on anybody. Because if you do wait for everybody, then you're just gonna wait there and wait, and then you don't even know when to take profit. I give technicals for a reason. I need you guys to take a look at it. If you see a breaking of a support, that means that's an entry. Once again, that's a cue for an entry. If we see that we see the bottom and it's, let's say, $28 has been respected and we see the bottom, that's an opportunity. Like, hey, there is a possible of a change of a structure. Okay, those technicals that I give you guys have reason. We don't want to keep giving you guys trades. Don't wait for trades. If we give you technicals, like SMCI was a good example too, Tom, and it was a good play. Your take profit level is there. If it breaks down the support, it means, hey, this trade is invalidated. Okay, so let's take a look at some technicals before we go. But yes, go ahead, Tom. You were saying something. Oh, okay. For Netflix again, I know we're running late. Sorry. Netflix is still bearish, guys. It's still bearish. I said we need to respect that $88, but so far, Netflix has been respecting that $88. I have reasons. Let me tell you guys. Let me give you a secret why I have reasons to hold on to that. Hold on. 88 is a critical level, Tom. Do you know why, Tom? Yeah, we failed that too. You see my screen, right? Let me see the
EMA did we just go under? What EMA is that?
this 250 failed to hold it.
Yeah.
This was actually lower a couple days ago. It was 88, it was 89 something, and I said as long as we continue to hold that $88, 88.32. But we ended up having this, it dipped down a little bit, and we would like to maintain half of this candle. That's why 88 is very critical. Yes, it moves slightly lower than 50%. Now, it's more than 50% now. This is possible. It's still that $85 to $82 is still on the table, which could get to
That'd be a gobble it
$78.
up zone, wouldn't it? 82.
Yeah. Yeah, this is really a really nice this is a key level of support for Netflix. Right here. Key level of support, that $82 is really a good buying opportunity, and I will continue to buy Netflix. It's still bearish. Yes, it's still bearish. But if you look at the macro trend is actually bullish. This is a continuation of a bullish trend. Yes, the pullback did not happen here. I mean, the pullback is supposed to happen here. That's what we wanted, to continue the uptrend, but it broke that structure. We ended up creating a lower high. Now, to continue that structure, if we drop below 82 and we create a new lower low, then that is going to be so bearish for Netflix. Why? Because now if we create a lower low, what does that mean? Now it's a bearish structure, which could retest at $62, but we have this common resistance in here. It was resistance here before, it was resistance here before, it was a possible support here. There's a change of, there's a word for that. I forgot the word. There's a change of, oh goodness. Tom, do you know that terminology for trading?
Which
When
one?
your
Change
resistance,
of character.
Yeah, change of character.
change of,
Change of character.
was it change of character?
Yeah.
Change of character.
No,
Yeah.
when the resistance
Oh,
becomes a
support.
support, yeah, it's a key level of support, but there is a terminology in that. I totally forgot.
Don't know.
I'll remind you that. There
Change of structure.
is it is it
No?
is it no,
That's a good question.
there was a terminology. I'll let you guys know. When the resistance becomes a support, yes, it's a buying opportunity for us, but there's a terminology that traders use. I just totally forgot. But anyways, this is really a key level of support right here. Although this is also the first key level of support where on the weekly chart it's been respected multiple times. But if we break below that, there is a change of a structure. It means it's a continuation of a structure to the downtrend, right? This is a macro bullish, a micro bearish. But if we continue to create a lower low, that's no bueno, because we are definitely seeing Netflix going down to this $70 to 66, 69, $70 to 69. Then we have this 200 MAs on the weekly of the $62. And now let's take a look at the daily. Daily is just so bearish. You just drop below 200. We have
Change in polarity. Does that make
change of
sense?
polarity. There you go. That is the one. Change of
I had to,
polarity.
I had to grok it. I was like, what the
Yes,
heck?
change of polarity. Terminology of the day, change of polarity. When your resistance becomes a support, that is a change of polarity. That was actually a buying opportunity as well. Okay. You guys keep that in mind. Change of polarity. Thank you, Tom. So Netflix is a good for me. I'm not a financial advisor, but Netflix is for me a long-term hold. Okay, so let's take a look at what is the other one? Palantir, PTIR, that you guys want to talk about for the dividend stocks? Is that the one? Tom, PTIR?
I
No,
asked for net,
Yes.
Was it PTIR?
net.
Miss
PLTY. PLTY, I think, was
PLTY.
the request.
Yeah,
We
it's
want to.
PLTY.
Miss Mary, real quick, do you pay attention to that yellow line on the volume bar when you're charting?
I do take a look at it. This is your moving averages. This above that gives you like a spiking volume, but I do like following. I would like to create a higher volume to the next one, and that's how I take a look at it. It's okay for me. It's not like it's a big deal. It's okay. Oh yeah, PLTY is really beat down.
So you pay close attention as it gets higher, as the yellow line gets higher and the volume bar. Is that what you're saying?
What happened to this is a moving averages, Miss Maxine. If I'm
Uh-huh.
not mistaken, I think this is 14 or 20 moving averages. So anything that's above your moving averages is higher. It's higher. It means it's getting you some strength. Okay, it's becoming bullish.
Oh,
Why? Because it's higher than the moving averages above. So these are bearish. Means it's low volume. If you want a spiking volume, you want to remain above your MAs. But what I
so
do
that's
look at it is I like to see a spiking volume. I would like to remain, at least if there is going on, I would like to be above this previous spiking volume.
okay. It's a moving average.
Yeah, this is just a moving average. The most important for me is my signal line on my RSI because
Mm-hmm.
I'm scalping. So this
Okay.
is really important for me. Why? Because the RSI reacts faster. It
Mm-hmm.
reacts with the candlesticks. Okay, PLTY, it's down. It's really down. How long could it go? It could get to $46. This was respected before 47, 48, and this is 48. So support is from 48 to $46, but is that the bottom is so bearish that we may actually create a new lower low. Let me tell you guys, what is that? 50, what is that? 66.90, 66.90. I'm gonna give you guys just an estimate, okay? So we still have this support on the 46 to 48. Drop below that, you're still looking at the $41. So it's still bearish. There's no reversal to the downside. I mean, to the upside yet. It's still bearish. So you could get used to that $40, 38, 36. So if you're going to buy this, just make sure be ready for a DCAing, okay? For dividends, yes, but I still would like to see a reaction. At least give me some type of price action before I start buying this for my dividend stocks. This is one of the questions that you guys are asking, right? Where's the dividend stocks? Okay, let's talk about that. Dividend stocks, the day that they give you the payout. What happened? It drops the next day. So not a good strategy. Dividend stocks, excuse me, the next day it dropped. Dividend
Yeah.
stocks, payout, drop. Dividend
See?
stocks, payout, drop. Excuse me, guys.
Don't get that emotional, Mary. It's okay.
I know. Dividend
I know.
stocks.
I know how she feels. I can understand.
I know. This one went up, luckily. But most of the time, this is not a good way to do dividend stocks play because most of them the next day they drop. So not a good strategy, okay? Not a good strategy.
It's Mary.
Yeah.
Can you ask Tom between PLTY and PLTW, which one is stronger if you wanna hold it longer?
Oh, I don't know. I've never even looked at PLTW.
Well, it's always comes with the fees, guys. It's always comes
Yeah.
with the fees. They might be the same. Let's see how much is the dividend here. This is $16 and how much is this? $34. This is $48 and the dividend is slightly higher.
Yeah, it's 2.5 times.
Yeah, so that's what it's a difference. And also the maintenance fee, see how much is it?
And the charts, the candles look pretty similar.
Yeah. Well, they're the same, Tom. They are
Yeah.
weekly pay on the PL.
Yeah.
What is that? The PLTW is the weekly pay for Palantir. And this one is the monthly. This one is the monthly. This is
That's why I prefer PLTW, and then I check the past. It's got a strong paying dividend.
Yeah.
actually this is every, what is this?
Well,
Every 2
so
weeks?
so so yeah, that's a big factor, right? You got one that's paying weekly and one that's paying monthly. You
Yeah.
look at it, you go, oh, this one's paying 2.5 times, but you're getting 4 payments versus one. So now you're at 16, 16, 32, 64, roughly 65 cents on the other one
This one
a
is
month.
actually two, Tom, sorry. The PLTY is, I don't know
Is it
that they
weekly
pay
now? I thought
weekly.
they all
Yeah.
went weekly. I thought
They
I thought
do.
UMass all went weekly.
I thought they pay monthly, the
They
PLTY.
pay weekly.
No,
They do. I
they all
have
went
it.
weekly. They all
They
went weekly
changed
like a
from
month ago.
December and
Yeah.
Yeah, see, that's what I thought. I know they pay
Okay.
monthly,
So
so
that's
they
that's the
change.
difference. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the difference. Yeah. They all went weekly. I forgot about that. All the all the Yield Max ones did.
Yeah. So the other one is a maintenance fee as well, and okay. I don't trade PLTW.
Now, the maintenance fee on PLTW is a little bit cheaper. I think it's like 99 cents, where I think PLTY is like $1.15.
Yeah.
Or I'm sorry, 1.15%, I should say. But I think my real question on this one on PLTY was, since it kind of tracks, not exactly, but closely tracks Palantir, and Palantir has been down a lot. I was wondering if this one might be a good buy, as long as obviously as Palantir goes back up somewhere pretty soon, because I think Palantir is getting close to 170, which is a previous level of support. Um, so that was kind of my question on PLTY and
So
PLTW, I guess, as far as that goes.
okay, so for me, there's no reversal yet. Yes, this was a support before. This was supported back on the 29th of December, right? Um, but we are actually trading within this candle right here. We're not going anywhere yet. It's not giving us any kind of reversal because for me, it looks bearish. It really looks bearish that it really wants to touch all the way to $32 to $30. It's still bearish for me. So even if it doesn't touch that $32, it still wants to touch $32. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's
Miss
still
Mary,
bearish.
can you elaborate more on the maintenance fee?
Oh, I don't know. Where is that? Hold on, let me just see. Let me see if you could see it here. Because you could take a look at your fundamentals via what do you call that? Okay, it's not on your it's not on Tom. I thought you could find this on Tom. Can you help me with that?
What are we looking for?
I think the expense ratio is
Let
there
me
down
see.
there.
They should have your fundamentals on your trading view. What is their maintenance fee and
No, I've never used it for that. I don't know off the top of my head.
But you could just Google it, how much.
What
Oh,
is
right
there?
here, expense
Right there,
ratio.
expense ratio.
Yeah, right here, 0.99%. So this is like when you hold their stocks, and that's when you see how much is you're going to pay for holding that stocks. That's your expense ratio.
That expense ratio, I believe, is that yearly? Like that's a yearly expense ratio, or is that a monthly? Or
I think it's
Good
does anybody
monthly.
know?
question.
I think it's
Monthly.
monthly. Yeah.
Okay, I was unsure about that myself. Okay, thank you.
Strong sell too. Yeah, TradingView has your fundamentals in here, and this strong sell, this technicals here, it's like a tip rank. And the tip rank tells you is a strong sell, a sell, neutral, buy, but they don't give you like the technicals of the future, like what is the top resistance, or what is the analysis estimate for this if it goes to the upside. But it gives you like a technicals. Is it a good buy or sell? It's right here to your right. Strong sell, neutral buy, or strong buy. It just gives you like a confirmation, like how do you feel about your stocks buying at this range, and while analysis saying it's a strong sell. It just doesn't give you conviction. So, but for me, PLTW is still bearish. It's still bearish. What I do like is AMD.
Anyway,
Yeah, I will say that there's an AMDY, which is again a yield max
Yep.
high yield on AMD, and that one I did buy this week, AMDY, and since AMD went up so much, that one I actually sold the AMDY and made money on that plus the dividend. So that one worked out,
Yeah.
which was, I guess, lucky.
So AMD, we have a beautiful engulfing candle in here on the weekly, and we're respecting on the support line. Remember, there is a gapping on AMD, but this is a strong support for AMD that's been respected multiple times on the weekly. The goal is still surpasses this level of resistance, about that 243 all the way to 248. That's your level of resistance. Having an engulfing candle here, a bullish engulfing candle, hopefully we will open above 232 tomorrow, or at least remain above 217. Is still bullish. Even if we drop below that 200 here, this what is this, 199, which it could extend to 194, is still bullish. Okay, still bullish, but drop below that 194. Remember guys, we have this gapping here. There's a gap to fill. Would it fill completely? No, but you have a resistance right here that's to that 248 and 242 level of resistance. And after that, we do have the second resistance of that 260 all the way to 267 right here. Okay, this is your level 1. This is your level 2 for your take profit level if you're going to enter that. This is a strong support for AMD. It's still bullish. I know earnings is coming for them as well. When is this? And I'm not quite sure if I'm going to do AMD earnings. When is the earnings? February the 3rd. So earnings is coming on February 3rd. Amazon is coming, I believe, on the 29th. And when is NVIDIA? NVIDIA, we still have February the 25th. So, okay.
Yeah.
With NVIDIA, remember the wedge? This is where you enter a trade because there was a breakout. We had this gapping is actually bullish. This is a bullish signal. It went to 189.70, close enough to 190. The next day, it went up to 190. Market opens here and spike up all the way to 190 and then drop. Your key level of support, not key, but at least a respected support remains in that 186, and 186 is a key level of support because that was a breakout from the from the wedge, from the falling wedge. If we cannot hold above that 186, we are now going back again to that 184. 184, then between 184 183 all the way to 180. That's just a local support, but the goal for NVIDIA remain above 186 to continue to move to the upside, because NVIDIA it's still bullish for me. It's still bullish. The only thing is this candle doesn't look so bullish, but it could still retest even the inside of this trend line. It just gives you a fake out sometimes. But even if you drop on that 184, it's still bullish for me. It could be just like, hey, after a breakout, it's just retesting the trend line before the continuation to break out of that 192, 193. And then once again, we got that 196 level of resistance for NVIDIA right here. And this is your 196 right here. And breakout of that 196, we have 199, rounded up to 200, all the way to 202, 203 right here. Then you have a mini gap, trade that mini gap, could extend it after 203.97. You have that $1 increase, 205.56. So if you do have scalping, let's say scalping, it surpasses that 203 or 204, hold on to your shares or your options, because it could definitely fill up that gap. That gap is only like $1.50 difference, but still $1.50 for options is pretty a lot. So keep that in mind. It's still bullish. Nothing is broken
Miss
to the
Mary,
downside.
well,
Yeah.
I still need Tom thought on ULTY as well. I don't know if that's too much.
What?
ULTY,
ULTY?
yes.
What is that? UMAX Ultra
Ultra option
Option.
income strategy ETF.
So has that got multiple stocks in it?
Yes.
Is it a utility?
It's paid weekly, I think.
Yeah, but what's the stocks underneath it?
50 cents.
Uh, I think it's got a lot on it.
Mostly bonds. Oh, mostly stocks. Yeah, actually, I'm sorry, mostly stocks. North America. What are they holding on? Who are they? I mean, I've never heard of it though, but if it is, it's right on the range of the support though. $37, which it could extend. Yeah, $37 is a support. It's been respected multiple times. You do have a descending triangle here, and that descending triangle is bullish. No, 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 no. It's not.
It's super.
It's bearish, okay? Descending triangle is bearish. The difference between descending and ascending. Yeah, yes, 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 yes. I know I have some, sometimes I get confused because there's so many triangles, right? So an ascending triangle is bullish. Your top resistance is flat. That's your ascending triangle. Your descending triangle, your support is flat. And this is normally a continuation to the downside.
Okay.
Okay, so this is still bearish. You have a bearish signal. You're okay with your RSI. Let's see. Your RSI is still bearish. It's in the 39, but you have a bullish crossover. But it's been respected here. Hopefully it doesn't break down below 37. Then you are in the bottom. Your top resistance lies not much, 38.45. There's a lot of gapping here. This is a bearish signal. When you see like this gapping, it's a continuation of a bearish signal. This is another gapping here. You have an indecision candle, which could serve as a possible rejections, but still indecision. So the goal is to remain above 37.55 tomorrow when the market opens and not drop below 37.55. Drop below 37.55, at least hold on to 37. Don't create below 37. As long as we don't create lower low, 37.07, 37.04 is your last line of defense. Create a lower low, that will definitely give you a breakdown of your descending triangle. We're still bearish.
I think I'm gonna hold it a little bit longer.
Okay. All right, guys, that's it. I actually exceeded my time. I apologize, Tom. I don't mean to exceed it, but the goal was 1 hour, but I'm sorry. We'll do it again
Thank you,
tomorrow.
Miss Mary.
You're welcome, guys. Thank you guys for
All right.
staying with us.
Thank you.
Thank
Mary.
you.
Thank you, Miss Mary.
Thank you,
We'll see
Mary.
you
Thank
guys.
you.
We have
Thank
a
you, everybody.
Thanks,
morning
Miss Mary.
huddle. You're
Thank you, Miss
welcome.
Mary. Thank
Thank you,
you,
Miss
Thank you.
Tom.
The
Mary.
Close
market's
tomorrow.
closed
Thank you, Miss
tomorrow.
Mary.
The
See you
market is
tomorrow.
closed
Tuesday.
tomorrow,
Yeah.
and the market is closed tomorrow, but we do have a morning huddle on Tuesday morning. So we're gonna do a live trading. Okay, I'm going to open it for all the YouTubers. Going to be free live trading. So I'll see you guys on Tuesday. I believe Tom is gonna be there if he's available, and we'll see you guys and have a great night. You're welcome. Good night. Bye, Miss Maxine.